Alright, so I made this list to try to be organized. You can see everything that I've crossed off. I did most of this stuff last night. And it looks like there's a bunch left, but like connect intake, you know, fill with coolant, just a bunch of small stuff. These two right here don't have to be done because I'm going to do my test drive with the bumper and stuff off anyways. But yeah, there's really not much left here, so let me show you what I've done on the car since. So just a small thing, I re-loomed my headlight wires. That just looks way cleaner. But as you can see, there's no more plug wires. I installed the coil and plug conversion because I had the valve cover off and I was putting the new valve cover gasket on, and I didn't want to have to undo these three, potentially lose the torque on the whole thing. Went ahead and installed them when I put the new valve cover gasket on. It's just easier. I've run the catch can lines, and yep, so we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna drain the oil because I still haven't drained it from when I put that turbo oil drain fitting in the pan. So we're gonna drain the oil, flush it with spirits, fill it with bad oil, drain that, fill it with good oil, then we're good. So we're gonna get started with that. All right, so I know you can't see this, but the drain plug is out. And we have the oil drain hooked up with the funnel in it. We're gonna run some mineral spirits through it. So this is just to try and clean up any shavings that are left. I'm not gonna use the whole quart. I don't think I'll use like half of it, but we're just gonna flush this out. So you might be able to hear it dripping out the drain, which is what we want. So we're just gonna let that sit because you want this stuff to evaporate. So while this is evaporating, we're gonna run our coolant lines. Okay, so dilemma number one, I can't even get the freaking hose on the banjo bolt, so I'm gonna have to loosen that up again. So I'll go ahead and put a hose clamp around this because I'm not gonna be able to get it on with it up in there.
2 hours later.
Okay, so this was supposed to be real quick hooking up lines, but nothing's ever that simple. So the oil drain for the turbo is facing like directly into this lower rad hose, which was super annoying. So I had to take that completely off to get the drain on. Then I had to trim the drain hose down, which is fine. And then I decided against this outside coolant. I wasn't going to run along the frame rail here, but I was afraid of it rubbing. So after looking up like the flying Miata instructions and stuff, they suggest running coolant lines inside and coming out near where like the nipple is for your wastegate actuator. So that's what I'm gonna do. I just wanted to show you what we're working with. So you can see the oil drain is connected up. This is what I was talking about. Maybe you'll be able to see it. Probably not here. Hang on. Yeah, see how the oil drain has to like snake behind that lower rad hose? Kind of annoying. But that's all connected up. Hose clamped. Coolant hoses. This is a really clean setup now. So yeah, this colder coolant is going to the inside of the turbo. Hot coolant comes out, goes into the mixing manifold, water inlet, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, we're rocking and rolling. All right, so I had to fight with the turbo to get this charge pipe on. I actually had to loosen all the bolts and kind of mess with the clocking of the compressor housing. But that's on, and I've just got these two hose clamps left for this charge pipe down here at the elbow at the intercooler. I've already filled it up with oil. I just filled it up with a full 5 quarts of cheap oil. It was like $13. I need to extend this wire for the IAT sensor. This plug's over here now, and then I think that's it. So let me go ahead and throw these clamps on. All right, now is the time. It's filled with oil, extended my wires, the downpipe is on, everything's hooked up, we're ready to go. I'm super nervous. Looks really clean though. I need to go get my laptop, and I'm fairly certain that the battery is dead or very low, and I don't have any cables, so massive setback. But This is a lesson. So I started filling it up with coolant because I forgot to do that. Obviously, I wasn't going to start it without cooling it, so I started filling it up. It took about a half gallon because I saved my old stuff because it was pretty new. And it started pissing coolant out of the mixing manifold right there, and it was coming out. I'm fairly certain it's the O-ring on that return, literally just dumping coolant all over the ground. Covered this area, and I was pissed because obviously I want to start the car. Like, I've been working on it. I took the day off, got everything wrapped up other than like mounting the fenders and bumper, but like that's fine. And then the O-ring sets me back, and I was remembering that at some point I had bought more than one off of Rock Auto or something, and sure enough, at the bottom of my spare parts bin there's an O-ring. This is like $2 on Rock Auto or something, and since I bought 2 of them the first time like 6 months ago, I don't have to wait on it now, so I can just take that stupid hose off, put the new O-ring on, and we're good to go. So let me throw that on real quick. The battery's 100% dead. I turned the key on and nothing turns on, so I need to go get cables too. But first, we're gonna swap that O-ring out. So make sure there's no sense in not buying extra stuff when it's super cheap. Like, I had a coolant leak on the back of the head that I fixed off camera, and rather than needing to run to the store or buy thermostat gaskets, you know, the 2-bolt with the little hole, I had like 4 of them because they're like $1 or $2. Like, you might as well just buy some extra shit. And sure enough, this freaking Felpro O-ring, for those of you that want to know, it is 36103. You don't have to buy the super expensive Mazda OEM ones. These are like $2, and that takes like 5 minutes to take out. So I'm gonna throw that in, fill it up with coolant, and then I gotta run to the gas station and grab some cables. I'm ready to start this thing. That was indeed the culprit. I lubed it up before I put it back in the mixing manifold, but evidently it didn't work. So take this off, put the new one on. Okay, so it's very loud in here, but I got it hooked up. I had to move the battery. Got my settings changed in the ECU, so I'm gonna set you guys up and then hopefully it starts. This thing is so loud with the fan. But yeah, let's see how it goes.